listening to Non-Stop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden,
Kevin Gale, and Neal Busby. Welcome again to Non-Stop Rock Talk. Jeez, man, I'm super excited for tonight's episode. Of course, for those who may not know, Kevin and Neal played together in the 90s in Toronto band Ex-Slik, Toxik. You guys were kind of the big buzz in the early 90s, late 80s on the Toronto scene. So before we get into any of that, welcome, and how are you guys doing?
Fantastic, thank you.
Great, thanks, Tyson. Thanks again for asking me to do another one of your great podcasts.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me, guys. I'm kind of super, like I said, kind of excited about this episode.
Before we get started, I just wanted to bring something up and with Neal, and because it's been like forever since we've actually sat and talked. Neal, do you remember when we were writing Just Fade Away?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember me walking into rehearsal and you said, "Nerval, play something to this." Back. As soon as I walk in the rehearsal room, do you remember that? I'll never forget that as long as I live.
That's how it works. That's how you do it. Just got to jump in the moment. So I did. I had a drum beat, and don't think was anybody else there at the time?
Okay, so let's get into writing the second record. Was anybody else there at the time?
We'll get to that. Let's get to that. No, that's awesome. So now, I mean, the reason being that I'm kind of super excited about this because this is kind of the first time we've ever done this on my show. We're going to be dissecting the two LPs, Doin The Nasty and Irrelevant, and the one EP, Smooth and Deadly. But before we get into that, I want to ask about the show that recently surfaced on YouTube that featured Ex-Slik Toxik at the Phoenix in Toronto on May 18th, 1991. It looks to be pro shot. Do you guys recall what that was all about and why it was never officially released?
I have no idea. It's all I know is that we sounded absolutely great, and I was kind of blown away watching it, going, "Wow, that was a really good show."
Yeah, I watched it, and it's unreal. It's so good.
From what I figured out since when I first saw it, I was kind of confused myself because I was playing on a rental kit or some kind of supplied drum kit, and normally I would never do that. And then I sort of put it up there and asked on Facebook if anybody knew any details about this show. And of course, eventually Nick Walsh weighed in on it and said it was something to do with Juno Week or Canadian Music Week, and it was at the Phoenix, and there was a few other bands there. I can't remember who else was there, no idea. But it was filmed by this guy, and Kevin might remember his name, California Cal.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that in 5 billion years. Holy shit, what we got him for? Didn't he do something else for us too?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. The reason his name came up is because Drew Masters also shared the video, and
right.
Then California Cal weighs in on the Drew Masters post, and he goes, "I shot that video, and it was never released." And I'm thinking, yeah, right. Well, somebody did. Somebody grabbed it somewhere, and I think I have seen it advertised on the internet. There's those guys that used to sell bootleg videos. And I saw a guy had that show for sale on his bootleg video site quite a while ago. I never bought it, so I guess somebody actually went out and bought it and then transferred it to YouTube World. I hadn't seen it before, so it must have been something fairly recent. But,
it was actually really good. Like the whole quality of it was great. Whoever mixed us that night, was it Johnny mixing us that night? Probably.
Could have been.
No, I should say. Yeah, Bruno mixing us or whatever, and like the mix was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was just a great, I think, snapshot and testament to how good we really were back then. And that was fairly early. I'm not sure if that was before Doin The Nasty came out.
I think it was. Nasty's 92, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it was around the time of the EP.
It probably was because we were playing the instrumental. Of course, I think we continued to play the instrumental, but the only song that... There was a couple of songs that were on Doin The Nasty, Midnight Grind and Crashed, but I think the rest of the stuff was all from the EP.
No, Sweet Asylum was on there too. So we did like
Asylum was on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of. Did you guys always open with Midnight Grind? Because that was like stellar. No way.
No, we didn't. It was Crash was the big opening one we used to open up with all the time. That's what I remember anyway.
Yeah, well, the set list would change a lot, but yeah, I do recall we would start with Crash because that was one of the songs. I like to devise ways of starting songs without stupid count-ins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right, so I said, how about if you just go, crashed at the wheel, boom, and it's dead in, no counts, no silliness, nothing. I hate count-ins, 1, 2, 3, like, just can't stand it. There's other ways of doing things.
You don't like to do it on your hi-hats? Come on.
For kids. Amateur hour.
Amateur hour. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've got that out of the way, and that show is super cool, and it's a little dark though at times, eh? Like but I guess it was just the times. Whoever filmed it, whatever.
It's not a first generation copy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I bet you anything the original video, which I may or I don't know if I've ever seen it. I think I did. I'm pretty sure the original video is much more brighter and crisper. And a first generation copy would be really good to see something to put out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I know someone's got one.
Who?
Nick?
So he says.
Aha. That's interesting. Oh, well.
Yeah. Right.
Well, it is what it is. So, let's get down to business. Let's begin with the debut EP, Smooth and Deadly. Now, before we go into those 4 tracks, give me a little insight to this release, because it's kind of like one of those things where people may not know the whole history behind this EP leading into Doin The Nasty.
Kevin?
Oh.
Hello?
We did that EP after the record. Like, we recorded it after the record, and it was the one that came out first. And I don't know, like, I guess EMI sat on that record sat on Nasty for like a year after we finished it. So we put out the EP first.
Really, eh? That's interesting. Yeah. And why?
But wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Didn't we record most of those songs during the course of doing all this stuff for the album? But some of the songs, like Riff Raff, that was recorded in a different session than doing the
it was done after we finished the record, from what I remember and what I recall.
It was done after.
Yeah.
So we went back in after we did the 2 sessions for Doin The Nasty.
And I don't remember why they wanted us to do that. Like, I don't remember why they wanted us to go in and re-record, like, and record the EP and put, BFD on both records, which it's still, to me, I'm still kind of confused with about all that. But, I just, whatever, they knew what they were doing, supposedly.
So you didn't re-record BFD, though? It was, both versions are the same, right?
So they are.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, a song like Riff Raff, which did you guys play that one live very often?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We played that a lot live. I'm not sure when we started dumping it, though. I guess, it's kind of weird. We did play that a lot live. I don't really recall when we started dropping that out of the set, but we did drop that out of the set for a reason, too, didn't we, Neal?
Yeah, because it stinks.
At least you're honest, Neal.
It's not a great song. It's not. That's why it's in the EP.
As time goes on, the more things change, the more they stay exactly the same.
Would you say, Kev, like that was a song that was like an early Slik Toxik song, or was?
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely,
you can tell because the maturity on Doin The Nasty to that song is a little bit, it's not quite up to par of Doin The Nasty, right?
No, because that song stinks.
That doesn't go back to the Portrait days, though, does it?
No, it's not that far back. No.
Right.
No, it's
And what about so now getting to Mass Confusion, was that kind of an early one as well, or what do you guys remember of that tune?
I don't remember when we started, when we even recorded that, or when we even wrote it. Do you remember that, Neal?
I think it came about because of the success of the Satriani stuff. That he did a lot of like instrumental stuff, and that was an influence on that song for sure. Because it's like a boogie, kind of like a Satch boogie kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why we did an instrumental, I'm not quite sure, but it was a part of the set to give Nick a little bit of a break. You know, singing a song after song after song, and between that and the drum solo, well, he got some nice breaks during the night. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And I mean, the cool thing about there's Rachel's Breathing, and then there's Rachel's Dead on Doin The Nasty, which is kind of, you know, it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
It kind of coincided together, and it made it all cohesive, I guess you could call it.
Absolutely.
But you guys didn't do, you did Rachel's Breathing live, but didn't do Rachel's Dead. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had that pre-recorded, and we usually have that as the walk-off music.
Right. Cool. So, I mean, do you guys remember in terms of how well the EP sold when it came out? Was there a big buzz about the EP, or were people more excited to get the full-length album?
I think both. I don't really remember, but I think both. I think it was both. I think there was enough buzz about the EP, and I mean the EP was good in its own right for what it was. I mean, Rachel's Breathing was on that. I like that song. I don't know if Neal thinks it sucked, but I like that song.
Now, was there? I mean, looking at the album cover, was there an actual bottle, or was that just superimposed onto that bottle?
It's an actual bottle.
Really?
That was an.
Huh? And it actually had the Slik Toxik Smooth and Deadly logo on it and all that stuff.
Yeah, we had a whole. Go ahead.
No, sorry, Neal. Go ahead.
We had this whole package made up. It was, and I think that was one of the bottles from that. It was like a gift set that they used to give out to radio stations and record people and promoters and stuff. It was this really nice box set with the CDs in it and shot glasses, and there was a bottle in it, presumably with alcohol in it. And I still got it here somewhere.
Oh, you do? Okay. Really? That's pretty cool. Wow.
So like I said, he's the curator of all things Slik Toxik. He's got it. You got everything, Neal.
You probably just drank what was in it, Kev, and threw the bottle away.
Probably.
Oh, that's funny. Well, let's go to Doin The Nasty, which I mean is kind of the, I guess you would say, the big album of the three. I think. I don't know.
Wait.
Yeah.
One thing before we go to Nasty.
Yeah.
We played Riff Raff live on Much Music. It was the first time we ever appeared on Much Music. And I used to have it on a VHS. It's long gone now. But we were at the Much Music studios playing Riff Raff just in the middle of the place. And that was probably the best that the song ever sounded when we played it there. There was a good energy to it and everything. But that's one video clip that I would love to see. I haven't seen that in a couple of decades now, or longer. I know I had it on VHS, but if anybody out there can find that on their old VHS collection, put it up on YouTube. It'd be great to see it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Deanie Petty. I actually tried to get Deanie Petty from CFTO, and they didn't know where it was. I used to have it. I taped it but it was in mono. I remember taping it, and you guys did By the Fireside. I can't remember if you did White Lies.
Yeah, it was me, Rob, and Nick that went down to that.
Yeah.
No, we did. We did a full band performance. We did White Lies at some kind of.
You're right. Sorry, you're right. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I don't. My brain just doesn't remember this shit. But yes, you're absolutely right.
It's all good. All right, so we're going to Doin The Nasty. So we didn't talk about Big Fucking Deal on off the EP, because I mean there's two. It's available on both. But what do you guys remember of that song? Like, I think Kev, you've told me before that you guys kind of got, it got stale after a while of a song that said "big fucking deal" in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, straight ahead, like, 12-bar blues song. It's like, in A. It's a great sing-along song. And yeah, I mean, we played it a lot of the nights, but there were some nights we didn't play it. And again, it's good sing-along, and one of those kind of things. And it's a fun song to record. It was a fun song to record. And, it was great.
Cool.
That was the first song that we did for the Doin The Nasty sessions.
It was the first?
I think it was the first, from my recollection. I remember that was the first day we were in the studio doing that, and we're all kind of a little bit shy, I guess, about playing it the correct way that we normally would. So we did a couple of takes where the ending was just kind of like bland. It wasn't the live version of like the energy of the song. So eventually we ended up with the version that's on there with the big ending, the big wind-up ending at the conclusion of it there. It sounded a lot better than originally we had it a few takes into it. But eventually we got used to being in the studio, got over the nervousness and everything. But that was a good song, like, for the crowd participation thing, which of course was popular at that time. It was good, you could like play with the dynamics and get the crowd into it. If you see the live video I've got on my YouTube channel from where we were playing at Rock and Roll Heaven, of course we end with that song, and it's really powerful the way we did it back then, bringing it down and throwing in some funky stuff. So it was a good part of the set for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember when we first walked into phase one, I just know that it was like I couldn't believe the size of studio like Studio A when we walked in there. I could not believe the size of that room. And taking all things aside, I mean, we recorded that record, we really, like, there was no cutting and pasting, there was none of that shit. We just went in and we played the songs. And like I said, I've always maintained that Neal kept a solid rhythm of this band together in that studio. It was really a great learning experience all the way around.
For sure.
That's awesome. Now, going to Hell of a Time, initially, did the label feel that right off the hop was going to be the first single?
I think so. I think that was kind of the focus other than White Lies, and I'm pretty sure that they thought they needed to have something pretty heavy but still catchy to put out there initially to present the band. And of course they had the great video that went along with it.
Yeah.
So, and that one, definitely it stood out from the pack as being a cool, heavy, groovy song.
Yeah.
With a great chorus.
Yeah.
And if we'd stuck out White Lies before that, I think the overall sort of feel of the band would have been different. Because White Lies had this kind of weird country tinge to it, the way it turned out. But Hell of a Time was interesting, and rhythmically, like for me, I did some interesting things in it, and I was surprised we got away with some of this stuff. And they didn't say, don't do this, don't do that. So it was good. I mean, initially, actually, I remember working on that song in rehearsal at, what was that place in Scarborough?
Oh, Certain Circles.
Certain Circle Studios in Scarborough. And it was our first experience with the producer. So we had Paul Gross come out, and we had Anthony Vandenberg, the secondary producer, come out, and we were working on that song. And we had been playing it for quite a while already live with our different shows that we did. So we all had an idea of the way it was being played. And then they started dissecting everything. Of course, they start with the drums. And I was like, I didn't want anything to do with it. I was like, what are you doing? Like, go away. This is what I'm doing. But then I sat on it, and I kind of slept on it, came back the next day and sort of gave them what they wanted, make them happy, but I still managed to get some cool stuff in there, like the double hi-hat thing at the beginning and the China hits, and the beat shifting stuff, which of course I stole from Rod Morgenstein from Winger, but hey, whatever.
Nice.
I got it on there. I got it on there twice, actually. It's in Crashed as well at the end. I threw it in. Yeah, so it was nice to get in some stuff.
That I remember when Robin and I were trying to figure that out, and you first started doing that off time at the end. Rob and I were completely bamboozled by the whole goddamn thing. We were like, what? And we were trying to follow that, and then eventually, I think you, because I started following the hat, and I think that's what kept me in time on that. But that was a complete head fuck the first time you did it.
Well, that's the idea.
Oh, shit, thanks very much. Appreciate that. Thank you.
He thought about it the night before. You know how I'm going to fuck up Kevin and Rob.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, you know what he would do? No, what he would do is, do you still play, Neal, do you still use the sticks with the plastic tips at the end?
No, I've graduated since then.
So what do you hit people on stage with now?
Just the normal, standard kind of heavy 5Bs.
But the thing is that he could make it so, because I was always on his ride side, so he could make it so he could knock the tips off, or he would try to at least, and knock the tips off and usually aim at me, so that I'd usually get one in the back of the head or my ass or something like that as the show was going on.
Then you have to entertain yourself back there, you know? You have to.
I know, Neal. I get it.
That's funny. Now, Sweet Asylum, which was a video. That was the third video, I believe. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that song is heavy. It's almost too. It's actually surprising that that after White Lies that they would release that. Was that their decision to release that, or did you guys kind of fight for that one?
We fought for it. They wanted to do Fireside, and we fought for Sweet Asylum.
Wow.
Yeah, but then they released Fireside as a single without a video, and then they released Sweet Asylum as a video and not a single. So kind of a confusing way to do things. But I like the video though, and I like that song. It's another one that
it was fun to play.
And there was a lot of thought that went into it. I think that the arrangement's really cool, and I know from I'll talk about my my part here.
Yeah.
But that's what I know about, because I don't play guitar. I didn't back then anyways. A lot of thought did go into that drum part, so it's not just standard stuff. If you listen to the verse, there's a lot of tom hits and offbeat cymbal hits that are totally composed to go with the song so that it moves from beginning to end. Even back then, I was thinking about stuff like that. I didn't want to sound like your typical guy just 2 and 4 on the snare. So I'm proud of that song for sure. And there's a little bit of double bass in there and some cool fills.
Oh, the double bass in the middle section the solo section is amazing.
Yeah, it's just jugga, 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 nothing.
But it was as a picking exercise, it was fun, because I would do like if you listen to the record, because it's like like I would do like one bank and then I do another bank on the next track. So you hear one and then the other. So if you hear it, it sounds like it's going back and forth. But again, that's all like, following the bass drum and following whatever, right? So and it's just alternate picking down the 1/2 sharp strings. It's easy.
Plus, that's a song that definitely you cannot say that is a song that is in any way, shape, or form hair metal.
No, not even remotely.
Hell no,
not anywhere close. So like when we get lumped in with a lot of bands that really we had nothing to do with, and Sweet Asylum is a song that is way more progressive leaning, and it's foreshadowing where we went with Irrelevant.
Yeah.
And it's definitely showing the style, the total unique style of the band in that song. It's dark, it's mysterious sounding, it's heavy, and it sure as hell isn't Poison or Warrant or any of that stuff that was out at the time that we're being lumped into, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the standout track.
Yep, I do too. That was one of my favorite ones. That and the Midnight Grind were my favorite songs, I think, to play off that record.
Yeah, there's another great example.
Yeah.
Of a song.
Not hearing that song.
Oh, that, sorry.
No.
I guess we're going to get there. We'll get to Midnight Grind. It's the last song.
Yeah. Now let's go to White Lies, Black Truth. Now, I mean, I guess technically it would probably be the biggest charting song, maybe. Was it? I don't know where it charted, so I'm not really sure.
Not either.
As a single, I don't know where it would have stood on the singles charts.
It was all over the radio and video at that time.
It was.
Yeah, definitely was. And I think if you ask people, if you say, oh, Slik Toxik, then you say, oh, White Lies, Black Truth, that's usually the one that people know.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a good crossover song. It's definitely a lighter song, a more straight-ahead rock song. Originally, like actually, I don't know if you've heard, the version that got released when we did the Irrelevant digital release, there's a demo version of White Lies on there that we did. What's that studio with
what, Andrew St. George, right?
Yeah.
Comfort Sound, I think. Oh, don't worry, we'll listen to the computer guy. Yeah, okay. It was Comfort Sound.
There's a demo of that finally got released with the Irrelevant digital version. And if you compare the two with the one that's on Doin The Nasty, although the Nasty one is definitely produced better, sounds better, there was a certain charm that was on the original demo that kind of disappeared. I think it was overproduced, myself, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it was overproduced. And like I said earlier, it kind of almost veers into country territory. And
I would say a little bit, yeah.
That cannot happen.
Yeah.
to a rock band. So that's my opinion of it.
That's funny. Yeah.
I would say, you know what? It was, again, another fun song to play. Not one of my favorites off the record, but definitely a fun song to play and one that I enjoy playing. I can totally see where the country, how that country thought does get into that, because it is a very country sound. Like, I mean,
yeah, it is.
Put a couple of Telecasters on us and away we go, right? So, I mean, it's those kind of things.
Like, I mean, if you watch and I was at the show, the RPM show on the Irrelevant tour, where you guys kind of mixed it, Rolling Stoned it, kind of, it was a little bit more, right?
Exactly.
Like a honky-tonk woman type of, Yeah,
well, it wasn't so much acoustic. It was more clean electric.
Right.
And that version that's on that show that I have on YouTube there, yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly how it sounds. It's a bit more gritty and it's more of a rock sound as compared to all the acoustic guitars that were layered on the album version. And I think if we'd done it, this is just my opinion, right? I think if we'd done it a little more of that Stonesy kind of gritty vibe, it would have fit the lyrics better, and it would have enhanced the video that much more, because the video did a good representation of the lyrical content, and the lyrics, I think, are very good, and they were decidedly anti-drug at a time when the grunge scene was just starting to come up, and of course they were just complete junkies. So I was quite happy to be involved in a song that was very much anti-drug and living poor lifestyles. So I think the music could have been a bit grittier, but hey, I still think it sounds good.
Yeah, I think.
I but I mean, and Neal was right. I mean, when we started getting into the Irrelevant era of Slik and we stopped using the acoustic for White Lies and stuff, I think that he's right. It does represent the song a little bit better than what we recorded it as. It sounds great, but it's not, like I said, it's not the way it should have been presented.
Right.
One good thing about it, though, I got to say, To me, that's one of Nick's. Like, he does some amazing vocal performances on there, but that one, just because of the lyrical content and his delivery of the lyrical content on that song was very much a passionate delivery.
Very authentic. Very authentic.
You know,
very.
His tone is just fantastic on that, and it really sells it. It really sounds. That's one song that does sound like this is a big time band.
Yeah,
well,
I agree.
This is not just a band that's doing silly heavy metal stuff. This is something serious here, and they're good at what they do. They got good lyrics, and the singer sounds amazing.
Agreed.
Nah, 100%.
I agree.
100%. Now let's go to Cherry Bomb. I mean, I remember the first time I heard that song, and I was like, wow, this song, I just love the groove of it. It was like that bluesy kind of, and there's, that whole intro part was cool. And
yeah, and that was all of us sitting in a room just recording it and whatever. And you can hear John Boyce going, "Ay," at the beginning of that. That was the second half of our manager at that point, making that sound. So that was pretty funny. Again, just another straight ahead rock song. Great, a great rhythm in that whole song, and it's a bouncy chordal progression over top of that. It's really cool on that. But again, Pat delivered a great bass line on that. I mean, even though he was just sort of just riding on one string, the way he locked in with Neal, especially on the bass drums and on that kind of thing, that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a good boogie blues kind of tune. Not particularly my favorite, but it was a good fun rock song. To me, kind of a throwaway thing. All those voices, the voices at the beginning, all that stuff going. I think that was just a lot of stuff recorded in the studio. But if you listen really close, you can hear the producer, Paul Groves. He goes, "All right, let's grab it."
Oh yeah, really?
Because that's him saying, "All right, let's do the take." So it's pretty much live, that's for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, it adds, that intro makes the song feel like it's a barroom boogie, like you're kind of like, it's that blues number, but it makes you feel like you're in a bar. That's the way I always interpreted it, at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whoever's vision that was, it was well done. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Now let's go to Marionette.
That, I think, was a Portrait song. Like, that was before Neal came in, and then, of course, Neal put his magic to it. And again, it was never one of my favorite songs to play. It had a great groove. And it was fun to play, but it was never one of my favorites.
I always like how Nick sang it, though.
Yeah.
I always loved it. I always thought, his delivery on that song I always thought it was cool.
Cool.
I think that was the first Slik Toxik song that I'd ever heard, because that was one of the ones that was on the cassette that I got from the management company. Remember, I told you the story about how they gave me the wrong cassette.
Yeah.
And I got home and it was some horrible prog band. I'm like, oh my god, this is Slik Toxik. But then when I got the original one, got it back, right? And it was Marionette and that whole slew of songs that were written before I came around.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, probably one of the first ones I listened to, and it was like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. It's got that good street rock vibe. It's got a little bit of the Guns N' Roses thing happening. And I thought right away, wow, this guy can sing.
Yep. He sure can.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's not easy.
Now there's a song. That's a cool song. That, to me, again, embodies where the band was heading. And it really demonstrates, once again, that we were not hair metal. We had nothing in common with all those bands, because that's a weird song. It's very formal. It's very unique. There's some very interesting things rhythmically that happen in that song, and the lyrics are weird. A lot of in jokes going on in those lyrics to do with people that by, I guess, basically Nick and I guess Kevin, with people that those guys would know, people that I didn't know, but I kind of got the joke just by listening to, what he's talking about there. Basically, it's a song about partying and getting drunk and vomiting and stuff like that. But the music's a great standout. There's some cool stuff in there. I love that little bridge section where Pat does his slap bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's that whole breakdown section where we go to all of a sudden it goes to like a shuffle feel. And,
yeah.
And all that kind of stuff that's very, it's difficult to jump back and forth between like just straight 4 and then go to the triplets and back again. So it shows that we weren't hacks, that's for sure.
Oh, I was a hack.
No, Kevin, no, don't say that. No.
No, don't say that.
All right.
Don't be so hard on yourself, man. Okay, now, so let's go to Crashed. But actually, I will make note before we go that It's Not Easy is a song that mentions praying to the porcelain god, does it not?
Yes, it does.
Which hence is, I always termed it as the album cover with the guy, the blue moon. There's the blue moon and praying to the porcelain god and all that stuff. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So now let's go to Crashed.
Kevin?
I'm. Why, yes, Neil. I will field this question. Crash was again, a fun song to do as an opener. Again, because Neil didn't want to count it in, and I don't blame him because count-ins do sound stupid. But it was kind of weird because it was written in C sharp, so it's kind of fitting because you can go C sharp and the E and A and have it all relative, but. Nobody except for the Police and stuff like that was writing stuff in C sharp that I was aware of. But the riff was really fun to play and really cool. And then Rob would do the main riff, and I do the fifth harmony on that. So it was like right at the end of the riff, the beginning of it, which was really cool. And how the rhythm patterns all fell together in that song, even from the Nick's vocals. And then when it goes into the pre-chorus and it sort of chugs along, it's like bam. Bam, 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 and it's sort of getting going like it's sort of rushing onto the one. It's a really fun song to play, and I really enjoyed writing that one too. Like working and writing that.
But see, that was one of the songs that because it wasn't considered to be a single, we were kind of left to put it together ourselves, and there wasn't too much input from the producers, so we got away with a lot of stuff on it. That there's again, I got away with a lot of drumming stuff. There's some cool fills at the end that I'm quite proud of. When I hear that stuff, I'm like, oh, I was putting in some effort there for sure. Again, proud of my performance on that, and it's a unique sounding song. It's got a good arrangement. It's different, and it stands out.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely does. Now By the Fireside, which is not one of my favorites. I have to admit that it's probably my least favorite on the album.
It's your ballad, right? There you go. Yeah. There's your ballad. There's some cool fills at the beginning that Neil did. Back at the butt, right? Matt Sorum made a whole record of that. Yeah. But that whole fill at the beginning, and it's your ballad. It's your ballad in E minor. It's the harmonies were nice. It was a nice song from the wee Canadian lad.
There is that fill at the beginning. It's actually that type of fill, but in reverse. So I start on the snare, then the kicks come in. It doesn't do the other way. So it's a little bit different than Matt Sorum there, but one funny thing about that intro, I remember listening to Q107 one night back at the time, and they played, I think it's the song Angel by Aerosmith, that really bad ballad, you see?
Yeah.
And it starts, if you listen to the beginning of that, it has a drum fill, and it sounds very familiar. So they played that.
No.
Robin,
Then they went and played
By the fireside?
by the
No.
fireside.
Do you think someone picked up on that?
Mockery of it or something. I was like, oh, you bastards, come on. I don't think I consciously thought, okay, I'm going to steal that fill. It's not the same thing at all. Again, I use
Stealing
double
Joey
bass in it,
Kramer's
and
fill.
Joey Kramer does not, but
Wow.
yeah, not my favorite song, but it's still a good ballad. And you know what? There's always elements of the songs that, again, shine through something a bit more special than the average hair metal crap that was out. And that's the bridge. The bridge in that song really turns the song up a notch. It turns it into a heavy song. And it's like, comes out of nowhere. And it's like, whoa, what's this? Too bad the rest of the song wasn't like this, because this part's really cool. But you see the live version of that's on YouTube. The sound's a bit wonky, but again, Nick Walsh sells that song. He sells the song. It's not a great ballad or anything, but my God, the vocals are just ridiculous. And the way he sang that stuff live was better than on the album. So that's what sold songs like that. Not the best songs in the world, like those particular ones, the lighter stuff, whatever. But he still manages to make it sound like something. And when that bridge kicks in on that song, it's really good. It's
Yes, it is.
strong part of the song.
I'm just kind of curious, like when that song was brought in, how you guys actually felt about it. Did you think, oh, this could be our, this is our ballad and it's cool? Did you like it then?
Neal?
I can't remember how it was presented or who came up with the initial spark of an idea or whatever. I can't really remember anything about that one. But at the time, definitely we were of the mindset that that's something that you do. Like every band out there, like even bands like Winger with top-notch players, amazing, really good musicians, they had ballads too. So we thought maybe, hey, why not? If it's a good song, it kind of, I guess, gives a little bit of a dynamic to the rest of it, where it kind of slows it down and just takes it somewhere else for a little bit on the album, as far as the rest of the songs go, which are all pretty hard-hitting. So it kind of had purpose there for the flow of the album.
Absolutely.
Cool. Blood Money.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a little story of that. If you listen to the beginning of that, you can hear Nick, like as I'm doing the pick slide, you can hear Nick screaming in my pickup on that. So if you listen to that, that's actually Nick screaming in the pickup. Again, another straight ahead rock song. It was fun to play. And that was another one that we wrote pretty much as soon as you got into the band, was it not, Neal?
That was written before I came around, because I remember the drum intro was a little bit different, so I changed it. And then we recorded that at Comfort Sound, and it's on the first demo that we did. And then we recorded it for Doin The Nasty. And it's a good song, but it's just kind of a throwaway. It's not anything that I thought was a great, like hindsight from this position of listening to the stuff now. I don't listen to it at all. I listened to the old demo that we did, just the sounds and the performances of everything there. But not a great song, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like the lyrics, though.
Dave was a good lyricist, wasn't he?
He had some good stuff. There's some good lines in there for sure.
It was interesting. It was definitely interesting.
Again, a lot of in-jokes in the lyrics.
Absolutely.
Could see that. Now, cheap nicotine.
Neal?
All right, I'm taking over. Just talk to me. That's all you gotta do.
I'm going to put my feet up and listen to the show.
Hey, get back here.
I'm here.
For me, Cheap Nicotine is it's a good little rock song. It's well
the
arranged.
cowbell paints it.
Yeah, you gotta have the cowbell, that's for sure. You know,
only drum pattern I know how to play is that.
ooh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I know how to play.
but I think that was one that kind of had a bit of that Guns N' Roses kind of vibe to it. And to me, it doesn't rank up there with like the good standout tracks. It's just another kind of filler one. Like I think pretty much the album has a good solid 6 amazing songs and kind of 6 okay songs. And I've heard that in reviews that I've read over the years. It's like that these guys had just had 6 more great songs. Maybe it would have gone a bit longer, but then, you know, we got destroyed by grunge anyways. But, yeah, not my favorite kind of rockin' music. I had some fun with it, playing the cowbell, of course, but it's too straight ahead. I'm not a huge fan of blues or blues rock. So when I hear stuff like that, I'm like,
Gotcha.
yeah, okay, it's all right.
Yeah, for me it was fun, and it was a fun song to play. That was the solo I got thrown, so it was fun to play, right? So it was all good.
I like that song actually. I did then. I don't think I mean your preferences change over the years, and being
yes, because everybody grows up and nobody's the exact same as they were back then, right? So
I think I love Midnight Grind and Sweet Asylum more now than I did back then. Because I was such a hair rock guy at that time that I was probably more inclined to love Cheap Nicotine and Cherry Bomb and stuff like that. But I loved Hell of a Time and Big Fucking Deal and I did like White Lies. So
absolutely.
I often wonder what we did a tour with Faster Pussycat. We opened up for Faster Pussycat. And I wonder what some of the audience of Faster Pussycat would have thought of our songs, because we're nothing like them at all. Nothing. No. We had double bass drums in songs. We had good lead guitars going, like interesting arrangements, heavy stuff. Opening for Faster Pussycat, sure, they're a good band, but it doesn't quite fit our world, and I don't know how people would have reacted back then to seeing us. I've heard some good reviews of people that saw us open up for them saying, yeah, we blew them off the stage.
That's a good point. I mean, for me, I think, to see you guys had open for Skid Row on Slave to the Grind, I think that would have made more sense than opening up for Faster Pussycat. Or even maybe for that, that kind of, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I think actually when we opened up for Yngwie Malmsteen, it was kind of a good idea, because we were a bit more of a musician's band and a heavier band, a serious band, than like a Faster Pussycat type of thing. So when we opened up for Yngwie, that was probably more of our crowd, really. Even though we were in Metal Edge magazine, still I think we kind of were a bit beyond that.
What was Neal? What was Yngwie like?
Lydia, go get my cactus soup.
I can't remember too much about him. I just remember watching him on stage, and some nights he was really good, and some nights you could tell he was under the influence, and he wasn't that good, and things would just completely go insane. Like he would stop playing, and the band would just be all confused and carry on, and he'd disappear, and he'd come back, and crazy stuff. But it's unfortunate that when the guy was on, it was fantastic, and he had a really good band. Always had the band he had back then. Top-notch musicians. So when you play with people like that, right? When you're actually on the road doing shows and you're watching that level of musicianship every night, you want to step up your game. You want to okay, this guy's doing this, I want to do this even better. So it's good to be out there with bands like that and acts like that because it inspires you to become a better musician.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Now, let's get to Midnight Grind. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
One of my favorites to play. Absolutely. The middle section alone, I ended up using a Strat and a JC 120 for that clean picking part in the middle section, right? And the whole song just flows, and I loved playing that song. I really loved it.
I think it's a great song, but okay, I got something to say here.
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah, the mix. Let's talk about the mix.
Okay.
And specifically, what happened to my drums on some of these songs. So, I don't know if you noticed. Well, you probably wouldn't unless you've seen it live and you really took note of what was going on the drums. There's a bass drum missing from the mix. And we're talking about Midnight Grind, which has quite a bit double bass drum in it. Yeah. So you listen to that first fill. The first fill in the song when I come in on the drums. I don't go. It's there's double kick in there. It's not there.
Right. Oh my God.
Did you know that right? You must have noticed that right away.
I heard it right away. I heard things missing from Sweet Asylum. There's tom hits that are gone. There's all kinds of things missing because when we recorded it, they mic'd the kit and they stuck triggers on the kit to use later for triggering off samples, right? So when they took it to LA to get mixed, I think the guy just went for the triggers, and whatever he did, stuff got missing. So there's kick drums missing, there's toms missing, and that is a perfect example right there. And I think you can kind of hear it in other spots, but in the solo, there's supposed to be this pattern, like a galloping kind of more of a metal type beat. But all that stuff, and the only reason you can kind of tell I'm playing double bass is because I'm doing the offbeat on those big fills, like the triplet ones that go on at the end of the guitar solo and places like that. Because I'm doing the offbeat, you can kind of hear the difference against the snare, but there's another kick in there, and it's gone. It's never been there. No one's ever heard it. So then when you hear it live, it's like, to me, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to sound. But it's gone. And when I heard that, I said, guys, there's stuff I told Bob Nutella, the manager, I said, Bob, there's drums missing from this mix. He goes, oh, who cares? I don't know, whatever. Nobody notices anyway. But I did.
Oh. Well, now I do.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how stuff like that happened, but since we're here and I'm on a rant, there's other weird things too.
At the mixing?
What's that?
Wasn't Paul Gross at mixing with that?
I don't know who went down to Los Angeles. I know that Nick went and Rob Bruce went, and whoever mixed it down there, I can't even remember who mixed it.
Peter Rose, I think, makes it.
There's another thing. I got to tell you another thing. All right. So when you mix drums, you either mix it so that when you listen on speakers, you're either looking at the drummer or you are the drummer. So you have it from player's perspective, which is like you're inside the kit, or you're looking at the kit on stage. So I like to have it so that you're looking at the kit on stage, so that the listener is actually viewing the music like they're looking at a concert. But if you listen to various songs on Nasty, you'll hear that they've gone player perspective, but my ride cymbal is on. So player perspective means like I'm sitting in the kit right now, but the cymbals are in reverse. So he's got the hi-hat
on the wrong side,
on the side that it shouldn't be. The ride cymbal is on the opposite side from where it should be, compared to where the toms are panned. I mean, they're all very technical things that maybe most people wouldn't notice, but hey, I'm the drummer, and I know exactly how it's supposed to be set up. Because I had 2 hi-hats, I had 2 chinas, I had the 4 toms, and I know how everything's supposed to be in the stereo spectrum. And when I heard it, I'm like, okay, why is my ride cymbal bell over by my hi-hat? It shouldn't be there. And why is there no kick drum? Anyways,
That's insane, man.
all these years later, I thought that I would just bring it to light so people could listen to it.
Huh.
Well, it's now on a whole different perspective.
I mean, now I'm going to pay attention to that now. I'm going to listen for that. Yeah, it's more.
Absolutely.
So all my listeners, this is more reason to go out and listen to Doin The Nasty again. So, because I'm going to. Yeah.
Another thing.
All right, one more thing.
Yeah, one more rant.
It's all good, Neal. It's all good.
When they were... Okay, this is about the guitars. Like, you guys had Marshalls at the time, I think, right?
I had a Marshall anyway.
And in the studio, I was so surprised that they're using like Mesa Boogie, and it just didn't sound good to me. The guitars don't sound that great, and it just doesn't have that power that you would get from a good heavy amp. Like I don't know what you guys are using. I remember looking at some Mesa Boogie thing, and I'm going, my God, they're using this? Really?
Well, For me, I'm really happy with the way my guitar sounded on that. I'm most happy with the way Rob sounded too. I know Rob uses Laney Head for a bunch of stuff, and he used Marshall for a bunch of stuff. But when I double tracked my guitars, I thought they were heavy enough. I thought they were totally heavy enough. It's all how you attack it, right?
Yeah, but listen to the difference between that and Irrelevant, where we had some really good amps brought in.
Irrelevant had. I used a Marshall. I used an old '60s Marshall on Irrelevant with a '59 Les Paul.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a difference on that part, right?
Yeah. To me, it just sounds much more heavy and more like more rock and roll.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Kevin's bummed out now.
No, not bummed out at all. I was just completely happy with the fact that, and looking back on it, okay, so there's drum. Yeah, you know what? That blows. Because, there was some really cool drum parts that should have been there that weren't. You're not happy with the guitar sound. But the biggest thing that I think that we missed from the whole thing was the experience of it all, right? And the experience of it all is we got fucking lucky as fuck. Because, you know what? There's no reason on God's green earth why we should have gotten to the size that we did. But we did because, we were a fucking good band, and we sounded great, and we played it and pulled it off live. But, there was a million bands that sounded great and pulled it off live. And we were fucking lucky. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, the experience alone was worth it all, right? And it was great.
Well, I disagree.
All right. Well, whatever. Like I said,
we were lucky, but okay, Kevin, think about it for a second. Think about the bands trying to get record deals in Canada back then, right?
So who was around back then?
Well, we don't have to name names, but I think it was more than just luck. I think there was definitely a whole lot of talent there. We could hold our own. We could hold our own with the American bands.
Yeah,
and that's what made us signable, and they knew it.
I mean, from my perspective, when I saw Slick Toxik for the first time, I thought you guys this was the cool thing was you guys were Canadian, but you guys were, like you just said, Neal, comparable with the American bands, and you guys stood with the American bands. And I bet you if Americans saw you in a magazine, they probably had they just thought you guys fit in. Here's this band Slick Toxik, awesome. Who didn't matter where they were from.
Like I said, we were a great band. We were a very tight band. We were a well-rehearsed band. We rehearsed every fucking day. During Doing The Nasty, we were in rehearsal every day. And we were a hell of a tight band. We were a great band, and we were good. But there was also a million other great bands out there, right? We got lucky, and that's the bottom line. We got fucking lucky. Period.
Okay. It's all good. Listen, guys, here's what I'm thinking. I mean, we've already we're an hour into this. I'm just wondering if maybe in a couple weeks, if maybe we touch on Irrelevant.
Sure.
If you guys are you guys down with that? I just think if we make the episode longer, people may lose interest, and I want people to come back and listen to what you guys have to say about Irrelevant and actually put in the same time that we did with Doin The Nasty.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll touch base and we'll go from there. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time with this because this is really interesting to me as such a fan too. So.
Well, I mean, I've been wanting to, like I said, to do these kind of things with Neal because he remembers a lot of the stuff that I don't remember on a lot of the recording of Doin The Nasty and a lot of stuff like that. He's got you do have some really cool footage, Neal, of us at RPM, which was, I thought we were amazing at RPM, that footage that you have there. You've got a lot of really cool stuff, and you remember a lot of the stuff that I don't.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. All right. Well, I will touch base with you guys, and we'll figure out a time and a date, and we'll keep everybody in suspense, right? It's like
you're not going to ask the last question.
No, we're not asking that last question tonight. We're going to save that last question.
All right.
We're going to save that and see, people will listen and go, well, what's the last question? Well, we'll save that.
Yeah,
I got a last question.
Okay, what's that, Neal?
When's the book coming out?
Well, that's a good question.
Huh?
Kevin and I have to finish the book. We've kind of been, how would you put it, Kev? Like, how would you say that we've...
I moved this summer.
Yeah.
You had baseball.
My dad passed away, and I separated from my wife and all that stuff. So it's been a little bit of a shit show for me this year, Neal, and Kevin's been busy. So I would assume, I think we can probably, let's kind of shoot for mid 2020. We'll have it finished, and then we can start shopping it.
2021, we're in 2020.
2020, yeah. I got tongue-tied there. 2021, yes. So.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, I'm looking forward to reading it and seeing it put out there.
Yeah, there's still some. I mean, there's the story. The story's not finished yet. So.
The story is always ever evolving, which is really kind of a hard thing, right? Because I mean, if you want to move in. You want to get everything, and you want to make sure that you get everything, especially up to the point where you are when you finish the book, right? And right now, life for me is constantly evolving, and it's evolving amazingly. So, we'll get there. We'll finish it. I mean, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, in terms of some of the stuff that's in the book, there's a lot of evolving and a lot of things that happened, and it's kind of, to be honest, Neal, it's kind of cool the way that we've over the course of time. Of being able to write this book because so much has happened. And it's kind of like a timeline book, not just an autobiography. You know what I mean? So.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. We haven't forgotten about it.
No, we haven't forgotten about it.
Neal hasn't. He keeps reminding us, and that's a good thing. So that kind of kicks us in the butt.
Every time I message him to say, "Hi, Mr. Busby, how you doing? When's the book coming?" Not even like, "Hey, how's it going?" So
he wants to read it. He wants to read it. He wants to read it. So it's all good. But guys, I'll touch base with you and thank you again for tonight. And this is a to be continued. So I look forward to talking again.
All right. Cool.
All right. Peace out. All right.
Thank you guys.
No problem, Neal.
Yeah,
anytime. What's that, Kevin?
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, well, Neal, we need to do this more often because there's a lot of funny, good stories, and there's a lot of fun that we had in Slik, along with a lot of bullshit too. But there's a lot of fun that we had in that band, and you know what? It's good to share those stories because those stories make me remember it, and make me remember that it was a really good time and not so fucking shitty sometimes.
Absolutely.
Cool. That's
awesome.
Good.
And I mean, and if we do have to do a third episode, we can. I'm always up for that, and I know you guys are. So
perfect.
Okay, guys. You guys have a great night. We'll talk soon.
You got it, man.
Cheers. Peace out.
Cheers.
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 Kev.
See ya, y'all.